So fasten your seatbelts because Boosie Bottas just did what Boosie does best: explode the internet without warning. Baby, we're talking about a complete nuclear meltdown. When the man awoke, he made the violent decision to roast King Harris like a disrespectful Thanksgiving turkey. Then all of a sudden, a Snitch audio leak surfaced online, causing everyone to clutch their AirPods and mutter, "Ain't no way this real." That's the same King Harris. T.I. and Tiny's Royal Prince of Chaos is currently the subject of one of the most shocking disclosures the hip-hop industry has witnessed this year. Did you think the story of Christian and Blueface was crazy? No, that looks like a Chuck E. Cheese preschool drama. Voices are purportedly heard in this tape disclosing names, divulging secrets, and outright breaking the street code like it's outdated warranty paper. And the second Boosie heard about it, he didn't hesitate. The man lost it like unedited caps lock. Louisiana Rage. The video was released at midnight, and by dawn, the internet was divided between King Harris the Rat and Boosie the Truth Teller. This is a generational roast masquerading as an investigation, not merely a controversy. And it's going to get ugly, I promise. The turmoil from last week had hardly subsided on the internet when this new explosion occurred. And it wasn't only a spark. Hip-hop Twitter was sent into DEFCON 1 by a full-fledged Boosie breakdown. At 11:47 p.m. A random Instagram page named StreetLeaks504 posted what they said was a confidential audio clip with none other than King Harris and Tiny's talkative youngster, who was supposedly talking about a situation that no one had yet to identify. However, that 5-second recording went viral in a matter of seconds, surpassing even a Nicki vs. Cardi subtweet. In the video, a voice that sounds a lot like King Harris says something like, "I ain't trying to go down for nobody, bro. I just told them what I knew." It is 16 words, no background. However, in the online world, context is unnecessary because there's just chaos. The post went viral right away. Even before the video reached 10,000 views, Boosie was being tagged. Why? Because Boosie is essentially the self-appointed street code sheriff of the internet. The man handles charges of snitching in a manner similar to how the Supreme Court handles cases. Every detail, every decibel is scrutinized under an insane microscope. And when did Boosie see the video at last? He left. He didn't even wait to verify the facts. He reached for his phone, pressed record, and let forth a full-fledged tirade of Southern rage. "Man, I told y'all, these new kids ain't built like that." He began his live performance. "You can't have a mansion, money, and morals. Pick two." Then he went one step further. T.I., he must be shaking his head someplace. This is the result of raising your boy via Wi-Fi rather than Waffle House. The conversation turned crazy. Remarks that fly through a Lil Durk verse faster than bullets. Boosie is acting like the district attorney. King needs to release a diss track right away. Someone needs to get T.I. before he composes another essay on Twitter. They weren't incorrect either, because that T.I. is the one thing that is certain in this universe. We'll provide a dictionary-style response. But first, let's go back in time. How did we get here? For those who don't know, King Harris is the vocal son of rapper T.I. and Tiny Harris, a blend of reality TV mayhem and rap royalty. The child literally learned mathematics while cameras followed him about the house as he grew up on national television. His transformation from adorable celebrity kid to young rapper trying to prove he's street over time is where the problems always start. You see, ever since the historic Waffle House altercation went viral, King has been attempting to demonstrate his realness by shouting, "I'm not like y'all ordinary people." Yes, the video continues to haunt him on his Wi-Fi like a ghost. People didn't just hear the new Snitch audio when it was released. They believed it. It matched the popular narrative on the internet. Rich kid wants street cred, but can't handle street code. Boosie, who is essentially hip-hop's personal lying detector, used the occasion to deliver a sermon. If that boy really said that, his daddy needs to ground him from rap. He said during the live performance, he is no longer even able to say trap. Now that's a federal term. Then he let out his trademark Boosie laugh. which is somewhere between a thunderclap and a cough. The Live had more than 200,000 viewers by this point. In real time, memes began to appear. In one, Boosie was seen clutching a Bible that read Street Code 101. In another, King Harris was edited into a scene in which Boosie was the judge, shouting, "You violated DA code, youngin'." Twitter was ablaze. Boosie. Don't even work for the feds, but somehow runs hip-hop. Probation, said one tweet. King Harris got more drama than an entire Zeus network. Lineup, another person remarked. The big surprise, however, was the appearance of a second, longer version of the leak. This time from a new account and with better audio. Someone in the background was saying, "Bro, just tell them what you know so we can go home." And you could hear people laughing and talking about catching heat. Fans lost their minds. It was King and one of his gang, they vowed. It became a full-fledged digital probe after Reddit detectives matched voices, compared waveforms, slowed it down, and applied AI filters. King, however, said nothing. Not a story, not a post, not even a passive-aggressive song. He disappeared for a full day, and the silence only made everything worse. Because quiet equates to guilt in the logic of the internet at that point. Boosie made the decision to go nuclear. That audio is real? I'ma tell you right now, we need to stop letting these kids play gangster, he said as he went live once more. There is no such thing as a half-street or a part-time G. You are either solid or salad. He was ablaze. Every word was a quote, just waiting to become popular. His tirade was captured on TikTok and quickly became viral. Some fans criticized him for bullying a kid, while others agreed with him, saying, "Boosie just saying what everyone thinking." Boosie, however, was indifferent. He remarked, "That boy has grown up enough to fight in a Waffle House, and he has grown up enough to face the smoke." In the interim, he eventually broke his silence by posting a philosophical essay on Instagram. You guessed it. "A man's name is his honor," the post began. "My son is on his own journey." Fans joked, let him stand on it, because it was lengthy, poetic, and full of dictionary-level jargon, typing as if he were sending this to Harvard. Then Tiny joined in, sharing a heart emoji along with the statement, "We know our truth." Naturally, this simply caused the internet to scream, "What truth?" By now, the conflict had migrated from hip-hop blogs to mainstream gossip sites. Headlines read, "Boosie versus King Harris, Street Code Showdown." Leaked audio sparks generational beef between legends. T.I. defends son as Boosie declares street martial law. The situation was snowballing out of control. Memes, think pieces, reaction videos, remixes. Yep, remixes. Someone basically took the leaked Snitch audio and converted it into a drill beat. The tune reached SoundCloud within hours, titled "Tell What You Know Feat. The Feds." And that's when you understood that this wasn't just a controversy anymore. It was entertainment warfare, because the Boosie versus King Harris saga wasn't just about devotion or street code. It was about legacy. A rap legend calling out a rap prince. An old school general versus a new age, influencer. And once the dust settled on day 2 of the turmoil, one thing was clear. This was not going to end anytime soon. Due to the upcoming leak. This one was going to appear like a warm-up act. I see. If the initial leak was like a firecracker, the subsequent one was like a grenade thrown into the annals of hip-hop. Because everyone dropped their phones like they had just touched the stove when a new video of Boosie vs. King Harris appeared online. Just when you thought the issue couldn't get much uglier. Around 2 a.m, it fell. Extended audio was the caption posted on a Twitter account named Trap Legs Daily on a random Wednesday. The worldwide hour of pandemonium. Boosie was more knowledgeable than you all realize. What about the video that's attached? An interrogation-style 45-second tape that sounded like a group chat. You could clearly hear voices. One purportedly belonging to King Harris and the other sounding like an associate. Discussing clearing names before Boosie finds out. Police pressure, keeping it solid. And the now famous statement, ain't nobody finna crash for somebody else. Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and YouTube Shorts all had it within 5 minutes. And everyone on the internet exclaimed, "This is wild." Boosie didn't waste any time. He went live once more, appearing as though the cosmos had just shown him to be correct. Observe. See what I'm talking about? Pacing like a preacher in a revival tent. He yelled into the camera, "When the heat is on, you can't be talking all that gangsta stuff and then fold like laundry." That's reality TV energy, not genuine. In an instant, Twitter became the Boosie Church of Truth. Timelines were swamped with hashtags, like hashtag BOOSIE was right, hashtag Street Code 101, and hashtag King Harris Exposed. This is where things got even messier, as they always do. Fans began disparaging T.I. by calling him the original Snitch and bringing up the old, widely shared video in which he acknowledged testifying against a deceased cousin. Suddenly, the Harris family as a whole was involved. It wasn't just about King, the statement. It wasn't just about King, the statement. Snitching runs in the Harris bloodline like talent and vocabulary. Went popular on Twitter. Boosie, meanwhile, was having a blast. He smiled on camera, reposted memes, and uttered a one-liner so vicious that it became legendary right away. "A lion raised in a house cannot be expected to live in the jungle." That line viral right away. Within a day, it was on t-shirts, appeared on TikTok, and was sampled in freestyles. Not everyone, though, was giggling. While King eventually broke his silence, Tiny shared a mysterious story about false witnesses that included a Bible verse. "Y'all really believe everything on the internet," he stated on Instagram Live while sporting high-end eyewear. "I've never told anyone, dude. AI, that audio false, whatever. I don't even speak in that manner." However, how did he deliver? Whoa, it got that uneasy vibe that comes from someone trying too hard to sound unconcerned. Like sharks in shallow water, the internet stank of terror, like Times Square. The comments section lit up. But why does it sound perfectly like you if it's a fake? He's sweating like he's at a Boosie concert. This man is lying through his facade. King's denial quickly turned into a meme. His live was edited like a boxing match. Round 1, Street Code versus Rich Kid. Energy by stitching it next to Boosie's tirades. Charleston White, of course, jumped in as if this whole event needed another narrative twist. From all around the nation, this man could sense an argument becoming viral. "Told y'all," he said as he went live. "Ever since he was born, that boy King has been a phony bully. Instead of war wounds, he received Wi-Fi." The video instantly went viral. Even Boosie couldn't contain her laughter, using the crying emoji to comment under a repost. The entire internet was now divided in two. The Gen Z soldiers were those who said Boosie was harassing a 19-year-old who was attempting to grow up in peace, while the Boosie disciples were followers who thought King was weak and should respect the code. Overnight, hip-hop culture became a battleground between generations. Podcasts also entered the fray. Gillian Wallo of $1 Million Worth of Game took a serious stance, saying, "Y'all need to stop pushing these kids into street politics." DJ Academics referred to it as the funniest beef of the year, stating, "Boosie going harder on King than rappers he actually beefed with. They are not enforcers, but performers." However, the internet was more interested in explosions than subtlety. They succeeded in obtaining them because T.I., being T.I., released a rebuttal video that was so lengthy it might have passed for a TED Talk. "Ain't nobody in my bloodline ever compromised integrity," he wrote. "However, I can assure you that if you cross my child, you cross me." It was composed, well-spoken, and perilous. "I'm rich enough to sue you and petty enough to enjoy it," was the tone. After an hour, Boosie clapped back. "Man, I ain't scared of no dictionary gangster," he wrote in a recent live post. "T.I. talking to me requires using a thesaurus. We all heard the tape, so be honest, dude. It was barbaric. It was devoured by the internet like leftovers after Thanksgiving." Boosie and T.I. memes were everywhere, were altered to create a versus battle flyer with the title words VS War. However, when a third leak emerged, the situation truly reached a fever pitch. This time, it wasn't audio. Instead, it was a text thread that purportedly showed King talking to someone about telling the truth before it gets worse. Whether it was authentic or not, it caused a stir on social media. Once again, Boosie was correct. People cried out. King is attempting to hide his traces. In a reaction video, Boosie was laughing so hard he was having trouble breathing. Telling the truth, the boy remarked, is a confession rather than an explanation. Even casual hip-hop fans were tuned in to witness the mayhem by this point. Even if CNN had covered an extraterrestrial invasion, people would still ask, but what did Boosie say about King? Then Boosie released a diss track, giving the impression that Quentin Tarantino was directing this story. Indeed, Street Sermon is a full-fledged diss track. He rapped in it, "You have TikTok fame, mansion morality. However, you forgot your name when the pressure hit. Big words, not big game. Are what your father taught you? You're currently trending in street shame thanks to BOOSIE. It was disrespectful, ridiculous, and went viral. It reached 1 million views in a matter of hours. Boosie had already conquered the internet that week, so even though King attempted to respond with a snippet of his own, the damage was already done. However, it wasn't hilarious to everyone. Rappers from the past began to voice their opinions. Fat Joe referred to it as entertainment gone too far. Snoop Dogg said, "We need peace in the family, not beef in the streets." And even Master P wrote, "This generation needs guidance, not gossip." However, by then, the tale had developed arms, legs, and a TikTok filter. Boosie and King Harris were more than just headline names. They were cultural allusions, punchlines, and memes, while Boosie was enjoying his victory. An unexpected development began to take shape behind the scenes that would completely change the course of events. Because what if the audio said to be a snitch wasn't? There were rumors that the voice might have been artificial intelligence, AI produced, possibly as part of a plot to frame King and trick Boosie into having another viral breakdown. Screenshots of a digital producer taking credit for testing an AI voice experiment. That went too far started to appear. The internet abruptly stopped criticizing King and started thinking, wait, was this all fake? At that point, the entire controversy changed from being about street code to being about how frightening the new reality of the internet had become. Because when celebrity, ego, and technology come together, every time, someone is taken advantage of. And believe me, this story's third act. The real smoke begins there. The Boosie versus King Harris story completely changed course. It's just when you thought it had reached its zenith. It was more difficult than Blueface attempting to explain a custody dispute. Because there came a shocking revelation that caused everyone to ask, hold up, what if King was telling the truth this whole time? While the internet was giggling, making jokes, and creating memes. It all began when a tech blogger, yes, a tech blogger, not a hip-hop source, posted a thorough thread suggesting that the alleged Snitch audio might have been produced by artificial intelligence. He dissected it like a CSI episode for nerds. Metadata, timestamps, synthetic pitch shifts, and waveform patterns. The evidence was outrageous. It seemed that the voice may have been cloned in certain areas of the video due to digital stitching. In less than an hour, the thread became viral. All of the people who had been making fun of King all week were suddenly rushing to remove their tweets. Those who had previously referred to him as Lil Snitchy were now tweeting, wait, this AI stuff getting scary? However, Boosie wasn't first persuaded. Man, y'all really trying to tell me a computer made that boy snitch? He exclaimed as he appeared on live for the 4th time that week. We are all doomed if that is the case. However, the expression on his face said it all. Even Boosie began to question whether he had been duped by the internet. King Harris, meanwhile, returned with a vengeance. Once more, he went live with unadulterated energy and no filters or shades. He remarked, "Y'all dragged me through the dirt. You guys called me soft and false, and now it turns out that someone is trying to frame me with a robot voice? That's evil, bro. And really? The internet began to support him for the first time. Sympathy replaced clown emojis in comments. I feel horrible now. Loki Boosie should apologize to that boy. This generation is no longer even able to protect themselves against phony leaks. At that point, the story became well known. It was covered by major media sites as a case study in digital manipulation rather than as a snitch scandal. When AI goes gangsta, the King Harris controversy was the title of a CNN segment. Boosie broke character for the first time that same evening. This time, he was almost contemplative rather than furious as he went live. He said, "I might owe the young man a call." That would be different if it were AI, but if it wasn't, I still stand by what I said. Classic Boosie, a half apology, half dash double dash down. However, he was not given an easy ride by the internet. Users of TikTok inundated his comments with robotically filtered videos of his previous outbursts. AI Boosie apologizing to AI. King Harris in 2045 was the title for a popular post that was both humorous and eerily true, because the entire situation had evolved into a cultural wake-up call rather than just a dispute. How quickly we start believing, how quickly we stop, and how far the internet will go to get views. T.I. then returned to the discussion, this time with a cool, collected video. "My family has been publicly disrespected, so let this apology be public too," he stated before pausing and giving the camera a deadpan expression before saying, "You are my brother, Boosie." However, you must understand that not every leak is the streets, and not every microphone is the truth. That line? Classic, right away. Emblazoned on shirts, quoted and memed. It was being devoured by hip-hop thinkers. Later that evening, Boosie replied, "Respect, tip. However, you are aware of my authenticity even in the face of online deceit." What's the wildest part now? The person who shared the phony audio, the so-called AI producer, actually uploaded a confession video. "I was testing a viral experiment using cloned voices," he added, his voice garbled and his face blurry. Garbled in his face blurry. I didn't think it would get this far. A family dispute became a full-fledged case study in digital pandemonium, thanks to bro.boosie lost it once more. But not at King. "A laptop has been trolling me, man. I became viral because of a robot," yelled. His existential agony was almost audible in his speech. "I believe that the operators, not the algorithms, were pursuing me." The irony. In fact, the whole thing increased the notoriety of King Harris and Boosie. King was now referred to as the victim of digital defamation. Boosie's tirades were being remixed into parody songs. And Zeus Network was apparently preparing a documentary series dubbed Boosie vs. the Machine. Fans, meanwhile, began to view King in a completely different way. Even his detractors had to concede that he handled the consequences better than most mature rappers, going from spoiled celebrity kid to the kid who survived the internet. However, some people weren't prepared to overlook Boosie. Boosie needs to apologize louder than he accused, and he made this boy a meme. Now, he gotta make him a man again, were two of the widely shared tweets. At last, Boosie answered it. He stated, "If it was fake, I'm man enough to say I got played." At his farewell live, "But you have to realize that I learned one thing from the streets. Keep your reputation intact. I was only doing that." Surprisingly, King included a handshake emoji in his comment beneath it. The internet went crazy. After 2 generations of turmoil, a truce has finally been declared, if only symbolically. The energy changed after that. Boosie, the uncle who overreacts, King, the nephew who learned the game the hard way, was what fans began to say. Once more, people were laughing. But this time it was with relief rather than anger. Both of them were trending once more by the weekend, this time for reconciliation. Boosie even made the joke, "Me and King might drop a track together. Call it I Ain't Real." On X, whether he meant it or not, the internet was already clamoring for it. And to be honest, that sums up this generation perfectly. Upheaval, cancellations, AI drama, followed by a collaboration. Because the internet's fixation with quick indignation was revealed beneath all the conflict. The shade and the phony disclosures. In less than a week. Boosie moved from hero to hater to humbled. King went from being a villain to a victim to being viral once more. What about the rest of us? Like addicts, we took a seat, got some popcorn, okay, and kept checking the timeline. However, one thing is certain. This scandal will end as soon as the servers and the streets meet. Hip-hop came to the realization that even realness is vulnerable to digital fraud. Whether you think AI is the new Illuminati, Boosie overreacted, or King snitched, one thing is certain. This narrative demonstrated that in 2025, involvement is more important than proof. You haven't been paying attention if that doesn't make you anxious since King Harris is here today, tomorrow. It may be a copy of your voice and a headline that you never stated. For the time being, though, the story finishes where it began, with King defending himself, Boosie yelling, and the internet watching like it's love and hip-hop. Louisiana edition. And a computer somewhere is already preparing the next controversy. The next breach could cause the internet to collapse again. So be prepared. And that, ladies and gents, is the newest masterpiece of the internet, a digital soap opera featuring King Harris, Boosie Bottas, and one really untidy robot. Leak tapes, AI controversies, public apologies, Bible scriptures. And Boosie yelling into his iPhone as if it owed him rent money were all part of this story. Unless you're me, you can't write drama this well. However, the chaos around here never ceases. So don't even consider scrolling away just yet. The rumor for tomorrow is already developing in someone's group chat. And you can be sure that we'll be here to dispel it before TMZ even wakes up. Go ahead and hit the like button like it's Boosie's Wi-Fi bill. Share your theories in the comments and let me know if you think King Harris was set up or if AI simply revealed how quickly we all trust everything that has a microphone. Because truth and trolling are essentially roommates in our world. Make sure to hit the notification bell, subscribe, and join the most uncensored section of YouTube, where we transform every scando into a cinematic universe and turn leaking mayhem into legendary commentary. We don't handle breaking news here. Instead, we deal with shattered egos, billionaire rivalries, and damaged reputations. And keep in mind that the internet always proves you wrong in 4K when you think it can't get much weirder. The streets meet the servers. The rumors meet the receipts. And the truth, well, the truth just tries to keep up in Starscoop. Thus, keep an eye out, remain toxic in moderation, and make your remarks spicy since what will be the next scandal? It's loaded already. I see. And believe me, it will make this one seem like a warm-up.